Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly lesson. This week is Learn Standards, that's the category for this week. We're learning a beautiful standard in the Gypsy Jazz repertoire called For Sephora. It's a Gypsy Bossa by Stockel Rosenberg, and I thought learning Gypsy Bossa would be quite appropriate since we just recapped the Gypsy Bossa rhythm. And so, as I said, we're going to go through this standard today and go through the steps that we need to take, and then that I want to teach you that you always need to take when learning a new song. Before we do that, let's go on the button below. You can download the PDFs for today, all the resources for today. There's quite a few today. You're going to see a main PDF called Learn Standards with today's date. There is also a For Sephora chord chart. There is a For Sephora full score. There is a For Sephora versions and a sound slice link as well. So I'm going to let you know when you need each one of these. At the moment, you only need the main PDF, so Learn Standards with today's date. So make sure you download those before you start today's class, and also make sure you go and book your weekly lesson for this week, your Momentum and Deep Dive live call. Those are calls where you can ask any questions. You meet me live, and you can ask any questions about today's lesson or any question or general feedback about Gypsy Jazz guitar in general, and about your journey, about your particular issues and challenges. And also, it's a good way for us to go deeper into this week's topics. So we usually take the week's lesson, and then we go and dive a bit deeper into one aspect of the lesson, maybe a particular chord, maybe a particular chord progression, a lead line, whatever it might be. And that's the way to get deeper into this week's topic and learn it at a deeper level. That's why they're called Momentum and Deep Dive. And it's an opportunity for us to connect as well and learn of each other. I can also, of course, get you to share and give you personalized feedback on your playing. So make sure you go and book your lesson now. But going back to this week's lesson, as I said, we're learning For Sephora, a beautiful Gypsy Bossa by Stockel Rosenberg. And Stockel wrote this song for his sister Sephora, whom I met actually. It was quite cool, I suppose. Meeting her, knowing this song that everybody plays was written for her. And this song quickly became a standard in the Gypsy Jazz repertoire. Today we're going to go through our usual steps to learn a new song. Depending on your level, some of the things that we will go through today might be outside of your comfort zone, but of course, as you guys know, it's my job to push you outside of your comfort zone. If we kept practicing things that felt easy, then we wouldn't be progressing, we wouldn't be learning. Each time you are in a place where you feel like you're sort of on the edge of comfort, or something feel particularly difficult to learn, this is basically the place you want to be. So it's not about learning and comprehending everything every time. It's always about trying to work things out, trying to make sense of things, trying to go and maybe dig out an old PDF that helps you understand today's concepts. And this is where you really improve and you really make progress, is when I push you outside of your comfort zone. So there's a high chance that some of these steps will be outside of your comfort zone, and that's exactly the point. So being outside our comfort zone means that we are improving and growing. So just keep working and we will certainly see the results. Here on the PDF, there's one of my favorite African proverbs. It says, "Infinite boiling softens the stone," and it's really beautiful. It really shows us that we just need to keep working, and even things that feel impossible, with the right amount of work and perseverance, they will be able to achieve. So it's a great song to learn. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great one to add to your repertoire because a lot of people play this song. So enjoy the lesson, and we'll start with step 1. this is step one that you're always aiming to do when learning a new song. Now, a quick word about this. When we go and learn a new song, often we try to not necessarily go through these steps, but we try to learn it as fast as possible. So we go and try to play the melody, even though we don't really know the song yet. We basically try and do it. We try and take a shortcut into learning the song. And so this might be a good solution short term, because that allows us to indeed learn the song in a shorter time rather than following the steps that I prescribe. But that also means that we will forget the song much sooner. And also learning songs is really one of the best things you can do, because you're going and working on so many aspects of your guitar playing. You're working on your musical mind, you're working on your ear, you're working on technique, you're working on scales possibly, you're working on finding a melody in a particular box, so that's the knowledge of the neck as well. You're working on several things. You're working on your chords vocabulary, right? You can work on solo guitar arrangements, you can work on so many things. And so each time you do this and you follow the proper steps to learn a new song, you're actually going and working on so many areas that as well as learning a new song for a repertoire and for your next jam session or gig, you're also learning it for yourself and to grow as a musician. If you go through these steps and if you internalize these steps that we talk about today each time, you will remember the song for a lot longer, right? For quite a long time. The steps that I describe here, they are probably about a week / 10 days work. You can get it down to 1 week eventually. Again, the idea here is not to nail absolutely everything. It's a lifetime job, right? We always talk about it. I don't mind repeating myself because it's just such an important thing to remember here and to keep in mind. It's a lifetime job, and really need to accept that and take it easy and take it step by step. So always talk about a lot of things in these lessons. The aim is learning one new thing every time, and let your subconscious musical brain do the rest. So step one when we learn a new song is listening. So we want to do this listening exercise of listening to as many versions of the song as possible, right? So what I did here, I wrote down a few 4 different versions, because there's not that many versions out there. There are a lot of versions, but not a lot from very well-known players. And so I wrote down 4 different versions here. And if you want to go and listen to them, you can then go and open one of the PDFs that you downloaded today. And I actually recommend you pause this video and go and have a listen to at least 2 or 3 of those versions before moving on. The first version is Stockel Rosenberg, the original recording of For Sephora. I think it's from the 80s even. Then there is a live version by Stockel Rosenberg and Birelli Lagren. Then there is a version by Johnny Carey, who is a fantastic accordion player from the UK. And Ducato Piotrowski is one of the main rhythm players in the UK. He, in fact, used to be in my band when I used to live there. Fantastic guy and a fantastic player. So there's a cool version by them on YouTube, and there's the link there in that extra PDF that I posted there for you. It's called For Sephora Versions, right? Then there is a version by David Naidich, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, Gonzalo Vergara, of course, and Pat Cloud, all in the same band. So that's step one. This is something I always do when I want to learn a new song. I do it on a Spotify playlist. I find 10, 20, 25 versions of the same song, put them on a playlist so that they all play on the back of each other. And so I just put on the playlist. And that's something I can do. I don't necessarily have to be practicing to do that or sit down in front of my laptop to do that. I can also do that whilst walking, whilst driving, whilst washing the dishes, whatever I'm doing. I can just have my playlist on and get familiar with the song. And really, The best way to do it is listen to as many versions as you can. Then that would be step one. Step two is something that we're not going to use today, but still I want to mention it because it's a very important step into learning a new song. And it's a step that is often overlooked by most people, most musicians, and the step is learn the lyrics. Now, this is an instrumental song, so since it's an instrumental composition, of course there are no lyrics. However, I'm mentioning this step here so that you keep it in mind for the next time you're learning a tune that does have lyrics in it. There is a couple of particular reasons why we want to learn the lyrics, even though we're not singers and we're just playing a melody on the guitar. There's a couple of very good reasons why we want to do that. I'm not gonna talk about it today though, because it's not the point. The song doesn't have lyrics, but keep it in mind. Step two is learning the lyrics, and I will explain why and how to do it. On the next cycle of categories, the song is likely to be a song with lyrics. So just keep it in mind for next time. For this time, since it's an instrumental song, step two, instead of learning the lyrics, becomes memorize the melody of the song. So you should be able to sing the melody at least in your head from start to finish before you move on to the next step. Again, see, we haven't played anything yet. We have been listening, we have been learning the lyrics, or the melody. In this case is just a melody, but see, you want to be able to sing the melody in your head or sing it out loud, however you prefer, from the beginning to end. And this is a fundamental step, because then we'll be able to, when we actually learn how to play it, which is not even the next step anyway, when we learn to play it, we'll be able to link it to what we already know, and we can allow our ears to guide us a little bit more rather than just learning it by reading it somewhere. Okay? Then we have step three. Step three is finding a chord chart, finding the chart for the song, and do a bit of an analysis, right? So I posted a chart here. It's got an intro as well included in the chart, and an outro. The intros in the song are very the intro in the song is very famous. Everybody plays it, so it made sense including it in the chart. So how to work out the chart for a song? I recommend you try and do it by ear first of all. So you put the song on and try to work out the chords by ear. How do you do that? Well, you listen to the first chord, and then the first thing you want to do is go and find the root note of the chord. So in this case, let's say I was listening to for Sephora. Let's say I didn't know what the chords were. Try and work it out, at least some of it, or at least a couple of bars by ear. So you do a bit of ear training as well, as opposed to, again, just Google the chord chart or look it up on YouTube, because you're not training your ears like that. And I remember, and I'm sure all of you remember, when we were learning songs before the internet, there was no online help, so we could only do it with our ears, or we needed a teacher to show us. But for a lot of songs we had to do it with a CD player, or some of us will go even back to record players, which was even more difficult, because obviously, you know, it was about moving the needle back a couple of laps, right, to find the exact solo, the exact note, and figuring out on the guitar. So whilst that was really difficult, it was such an excellent exercise for ear training. And so technology helps us now, and the internet helps us to, you know, they made it easier for us, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do a little bit of ear training at least. So try to work it out by ear, at least a couple of bars. I was saying, how do you do that? You start listening to the song, and then you go and find the root note. In this case, I would find it's an E. And then you go through several options. The first thing you want to work out is, does the chord have a minor third or a major third? So then I go and find a minor third, put the song on again and play a root and minor third against the song to see whether those two intervals are in there or that one interval is in there. You try the minor third. If it doesn't fit, then try the major third. If that fits, then it's likely to be a major chord. It could also be what? It could be a dominant chord. These two really. It could be a major 7, you know. If it's a minor third, then you go and see, okay, does it have a perfect fifth? If it does, then it would be a minor chord or a minor 7. Does it have a flat fifth? In that case, it will be a half diminished chord or a fully diminished chord, diminished 7. Right, this is not a class on how to work out chords by ear, but regardless, try to give it a go, at least for a couple of bars. And then either work out the whole chart by ear, or maybe go and look it up online or on a real book, whatever you think you might find that song. Then what you want to do is analyze the form. And what I mean by that is, in this case, the form is AABB. In jazz standards, in bossas, this is often the case, but jazz standards, you know, have different forms. They can be AAB, they can be AABB, they can be AABA. AABA is a very common one, isn't it? They can have more complex forms, such as night and day, for example, is A. What is night and day? AB, AB, CB, for example, right? And you want to analyze the form because that's what you're going to be soloing over, right? And why is this one A, A, B, B? Well, we have an A section that repeats, and then a B section that repeats. So A 2 times and B 2 times. Of course, there's an intro and outro as well. And after you analyze the form, then you go and learn how to play the chords, finally. So the next step is learning the chords. What I've done here on pages 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, I wrote down how to play a few voicings on how to play all the chords in the song, in case you had some doubts on how to play them. And page 5 and 6 actually even sees a little bit of a bonus that I've included, which are the chords for the intro. And these are usually played by the lead guitarist. So you'll find them on there, page 5. In terms of this particular rhythm, I actually have transcribed it on another PDF. Also, I've done that on the sound slides link for this lesson. So we'll move to that later on. But now let's just learn the voicings. So the particular intro is very beautiful, and it starts with a minor ninth, E minor ninth. So I'm playing from string. All the diagrams are written in the lesson, by the way. Yeah, but I'm playing from string 4. So 5, then string 3 is fret 4, and string 2 is fret 7. So from now on, I'm just gonna name the fret numbers, starting from string 4 and going down to string 2. String 4 to string 2. So the fret numbers are 5, 4, 7. Then the next chord is 5, 4, 4, which is a minor major 7 chord. Then a regular E minor, which is 5, 4, 5. And then an E minor 6 that goes 5, 4, 2. Beautiful voicing as well. Yeah? So we've got these in the intro. Again, rhythm wise, how to play this rhythm wise, we'll see that later on in another PDF today, but for now we're just learning the voicings. See? So that had nothing to do with it. So that's one. Then I've included the chords in the second part of the intro, which are these ones. They're pretty much the same chords, starting from, so now I'm gonna name the frets, but starting from string 3. So this next set of chords is on strings 3, 2, and 1. So I'm playing 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 11, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12, 9, respectively being an E minor major 7, E minor 7, and E minor 6. And you know, we've talked about it several times, is that usual sound of a minor chord, but to make that static minor chord a bit more interesting, we find the octave of that chord and start moving it down chromatically so that all the other notes stay the same, and that octave of that, or that root note, even moves down, becoming the major 7 of the chord, the flat 7 of the chord, and the major 6. So see, of course the way I play it is different, it changes, the fingering changes, but these, all the other notes apart from where my pinky is, from starting from E minor, stay where they are. The notes stay the same. So, and that's the same idea, but played on a set of 3 strings. E minor major 7, see? Right? These are the voicings for the intro. It's a bit of a bonus since you might not want to play the intro, but... And then let's see what I've done. Then on page 7, again, same idea discussed here, E minor major 7, E minor 7, E minor 6. Or that's another way of playing the same thing. It's all written down on the PDF. So basically the first 3 pages of chords are all about how to play this idea. I hope this is making sense. If it doesn't make much sense, write your question down, let me know in the live class this week so I can help you further. Or if you're not able to attend those classes this week, then post your question in the Facebook group, and I'll get back to you then, either with a written answer or a video answer, or even by booking a quick one-to-one call with you to help you get unstuck. One thing I will mention, if we go back to page 4, in the introduction, you will see the chords written as E minor major 7, that E minor delta 7. Remember that delta always means major. So E minor delta 7 just means E minor major 7. Then you see an E minor 7, so far so good. And then you'll see A7, right? Which might seem like the wrong chord. And honestly, I took this chart from my Ariel Pro app. I don't know who wrote it actually. It all looks good to me apart from that A7 there. So I suppose you could see that as an A7 because E minor 6 is an inversion, or it's a substitution even, or it could be seen as an inversion of A7. So E minor 6 and A7 are kind of the same chord. And especially, I think whoever wrote this chart, maybe it was a Robbie Nolan chart, I'm not sure, but whoever wrote this chart, I think what they meant to do is suggest that that voicing for the E minor 6, you could play it like this, which is also a way of playing an A ninth, which is an A seventh with an added ninth. See, it's not the way I would have written it. I would have written it as an E minor, E major 7, E minor 7, and E minor 6. So that's what it is. But I suppose you could see it as E minor major 7, E minor 7, and then you will go and play your E minor 6 instead of here. You play it as this shape here, which is another E minor 6, or the shape is actually C sharp half diminished. Remember, we've talked about these chords quite a lot, how they can mean several things. C sharp half diminished means E minor 6 is the same thing. It also means A7 or A9. That's why you're gonna see an A7 there in the chart, but it's not really an A7. Because if it was, it sounds good actually. But our chord is this, E minor 6, which you can play like this as well. There, you can play this, you can play this. You can play this. You can play this. Several ways. You could also play this. This is A minor 6. Anyway, doesn't matter. So let's see what other chords do we have here. It's a beautiful song. Actually, let me just play the whole chord for you. So from the top, we will have our introduction. And then here is the start of the song. That's the chord chart. And as I said, I've written down all the possible ways of playing it, and all the, sorry, not all the voicings, but a few voicings where you can play. And here I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's probably chords that you guys already know. If you don't, they're actually quite simple to figure out. You have your E minor, you have your A minor 7, your B7. I wrote this one here. Actually, a couple of words worth perhaps spending on this would be that I'm playing 7x 7 8 7, 7x 7 8 7x, 7x 7 8 7x. And so in order to be able to do that, I need to go and reach with my thumb here at the top. Why do we do that? The most common voicing that you guys might know for B7, which is actually fine to play, is this. You know, for those of you who play the blues, they all know this voicing here. the voicing that I've written down as played like this. Why do we get rid of that string here? Why do we go through all that effort to lose the fifth? Because the root and the fifth, when played together, they sound, especially when playing jazz, especially when playing with a bass player, they can sound a bit too big. Can you hear it? Root and fifth. It's just too big. That's because the root and the fifth have got similar waves. I'm not a physicist, although I did 1 year of physics, but I quit, so it shows everything. So we have these two waves sort of interlock with each other. They have, I think they have the same frequency or the same height or the same length. I don't know, but when they travel together, they sort of amplify. And so the root and the fifth, they're just two similar frequencies, and they create this very big sound, which some people like. Some people like to keep it lighter and play, just don't play that fifth. And so it's a bit nicer, in my opinion. The other advantage of this voicing like this is that you have a free pinky to go and play the flat 9 down here if you like. Now, if you guys play on a classical guitar on nylon strings with a large neck, these voicings with the thumb at the top are actually quite tricky to play. But worth doing. So you have the option of playing a normal B7 or a B7 flat 9. Then other things I've written down is just we've got a regular E7. I wrote down an E7 sharp 9, an E7 flat 9. These are great here, right? On minor songs. So in a 5-1 context, just like we basically find the first E dominant 7, E7 at the end of the second A section. And why do we have an E7 there? Because on the first chord of the B section is an A minor. So we want to play E7, we want to play an E7 to create tension towards the A minor. So we have a 5-1. So that's why we go from E minor to an E7. And see how nice that leads us to A minor. Now, in a minor context, before that, normally in gypsy jazz you see these dominant chords often played as ninth. So we would play E ninth normally, right? The thing is, in a minor context, that major ninth doesn't sound too great. So that's why I'd rather you play an E7, normal E7, or an E7 with non-diatonic extensions. So with a sharp 9, which is the Hendrix chord, or with a flat 9, or both. So that last bar of E7 before going to the B section, you could play as E7 sharp 9 and E7 flat 9 in the same bar. So playing from the E minor bar, and then so you get that nice voice leading idea. So I didn't practice today, so I'm getting carried away with stuff. Sorry. So let's see what else we've got. We've got a D7th, this time played as a D9th. Why is it a D9th this time? Because we are in a major context. See, it's a 2-5-1 in the key of G major. And that's the B section still. A minor, D7, G. Then we have this G major 7. We have that C major 7. We have F sharp half diminished, or minor 7 flat 5, which is the same thing, which I've written down two different ways, two different voicings. And that's it. That's all of the chords. So this is all belonging to step, what step was it? Step 3. So we haven't played the melody yet. So that belongs to step 3, and we want to learn the chord chart, and then when we do that, we want to learn how to play the chords and sing the melody whilst playing the form. So we want to already be able to play the whole song and play or at least hum the melody on top, which is something we've learned with steps 1 and 2. So it doesn't matter how you sing it. I don't sing really well, but at least the idea is you need to be able to hear it and sing it at least in your head, which is when only then we can move on to step 4, which is page 10, and only then we go and learn to play the melody. So I usually have the melody written on this PDF. This time I created 2 more PDFs to open, 2 separate PDFs to open as a separate resource. So you can go and open for Sephora full score. It's again one of the documents in your downloads, and it's 3 pages of intro included, and yeah, and how to play the music notation and tab as well, how to play the melody. What I have also is a sound slice link that you can open as well. You might find it a bit easier to follow there because you can hear the music on sound slice. I did a transcription on that as well. You can follow the music and you can see the notes highlight in real time as they are played. So I figured from now on we'll start doing this. I'll start giving you a sound slice link for these, for the learn standard category as well, so it's easier to follow, really. Okay, so, and this is our melody. So let's go and take a look together. I'm gonna skip the intro because you can work on it on your own. So the intro goes from bar 1 to bar 16. So on bar 16 is the actual beginning of the melody. I actually forgot how it goes here. Oh yeah. The reason I'm struggling with this is because I always played it slightly different. Because originally, when I first learned this song, I learned it off a different version. But now I transcribed it exactly as Stockel Rosenberg recorded it in the very first original recording of this. And there are some things that he does that are actually slightly different to the way I was playing it. That's why I actually used to play. And that's the way a lot of people play it nowadays. By the way, you're gonna hear it play like this: 1, 2, 3. But actually, is in the original recording was da 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 ba bum ba ba. There's a syncopation there going on, right? Anyway, I hope you have fun learning the melody there. It's not easy. It's not easy, so again, this step could take you a while. As I said, you're not really required to learn and nail all the steps here. Try to go through all the steps if you can this week, but don't go crazy over it if you feel like some of the steps need a bit more work for you. Really take your time there. So have fun learning this melody. As I said, it's difficult, but this is one more reason why I wanted to use our sound slice link this time. So the way sound slice work is actually, let me see if I can do a screen share. Yeah. So this is the introduction. Let's say you want to learn the first couple of bars. You can obviously play it from here. Sorry, my laptop is being too slow anyway, so I won't show you, but see, the cool thing is you can change the speed here. And you can even loop a couple of bars, right? You select them and then put them on a loop here. And you play those 2 bars on repeat. That's a very useful feature of this program, of this software. Okay, so there's my camera going a bit crazy. All right, so this is the melody. Take your time, learn as much of it as you can. It's as I said, it's a difficult melody, so perhaps you want to spend, if you find it extra difficult, learn a few bars, right? And you've got hopefully a lifetime to to learn the rest. What I'm trying to say is there's no rush, right? It's not, we don't have an exam, right, coming up or any silliness like that. It's just music. So I hope you enjoy this song. Again, because the melody here is kind of tricky, if you need any help with it, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you with this, right? If you need help with any of the passages, any couple of bars that feel confusing for you, please do let me know. Please don't suffer alone. Ask me for help 24/7. I usually reply in 48 hours, maybe apart from weekends or Sundays rather. We'll see. But I'm more than happy to help always. This is actually part of the program, right? Part of what I offer is one-to-one, as much as one-to-one support as I can. So that's it. And that was, let me go back to my original PDF. That was step 4. Now, after that, we have a couple of bonus steps. I call them bonus steps for intermediate/advanced students, but or actually just rather bonus steps. Anyone can do them. And step 5 is to work out your solo guitar arrangement of the song. In my opinion, this is one of the best exercises you can do to develop your musicianship. As I told you a few times, I met a couple of musicians that don't know each other, and they both said, when I mean very accomplished musicians, and they said, when I don't have time to practice because I'm on tour, because I'm recording, whatever, this is the only exercise I do. I work out solo guitar arrangements of songs, because you are working on so many different aspects of guitar, right? On your you're working on the knowledge of the neck, on your theory, on your technique, on your dexterity. You're working on everything at the same time. So try and work out your solo guitar arrangement of the song. I had never did it for this song. Okay. It's difficult, so this wasn't the best anyway, but so it shows you how much it gets your brain to work and work things out on the guitar. This is excellent, right? If you don't know how to do this exercise, obviously it can feel very challenging. Just worry about the root note. Just worry about playing the root note of the chord, not the whole chord, just the root note and the melody. So the aim of this exercise is not to sound amazing. This is not supposed to sound pretty, right? I mean, in the long term, of course, but the aim of this exercise is for you to work things out, to work on the guitar, to be active about what you do, rather than, yeah, it doesn't sound good, so I won't practice it. It's the opposite. It's really try to make things work on the guitar and really do your best and put your as much effort as you can into it, and do your best to work it out. And this is when magic starts happening, right? When you really start to improve because you're putting so much work into it. This is the idea. Then step 6, which is also a bonus step, would be to repeat steps 3, 4, and 5, but in a different key. So for this particular song, since it is a well-known instrumental standard, the chances that this tune will be called in a different key are actually very small. Nonetheless, if you have time, try to work it out a fourth on a fifth up as an exercise to train your music theory muscles. So why is this a good exercise? You have to put so much theory into place to work out a song in a different key. And eventually it's an exercise that you should be able to do in real time for your next jam session, when you jam with a singer and she asks you to, or he asks you to play the song in a different key. Then it's a good skill to have, to be able to, you know, change to a different key straight away. Why do I recommend a fourth and a fifth up? Because when you change it fourth and a fifth up, then your root notes will shift. What was on string 5 will go up to string 6 and vice versa. Rather than changing key just by one tone, which just means just moving everything up 2 frets. That's not a good exercise. It's too visual, right? A fourth and a fifth up really forces us to think and as I said, work things out. So if you wanted to move it a fifth up or a fourth up, it would be in the key of A minor. sound prettier in A minor, maybe. Again, these are bonus steps because like steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 are likely to take you quite a bit of time. So see how you go. But basically, these are the steps that I recommend you go through when learning a new song, and you can probably see how this all of this work can help you to retain the song for a lot longer, and as well as that, work on so many areas of your guitar playing. So learning songs is, first of all, is the main reason why we should be playing music, is to play songs. And also it gets us to work on so many different areas of guitar playing that it's a must. For me, it's a category that must be there, right? So if you go to page 12 of your PDF, you see your 3 actions for next week. Action 1 is to memorize the melody of For Sephora, and you should be able to sing the whole melody in your head. And by memorizing, I don't mean learn to play it by heart. I mean just be able to sing the whole melody of For Sephora in your head. Action 2 is to memorize the chords and the form of For Sephora, and then you should be able to play rhythm for the whole song without looking at the chart. And then action 3 is to play the melody of For Sephora over a backing track. So these are your 3 actions. As usual, let us know in the group when you're done. Post your videos. The more videos you post, the more you nurture the community, and also the more you improve, because of course you're putting your effort into something material, if that makes sense. You materialize, that's what I meant. You materialize your efforts into something tangible, or rather watchable or audible, whatever that means. That's a shortcut into putting more work into things. Does it make sense? So the more you post with others, the more you share your music with others, the more you're improving, the faster you're improving. That's it. Make sure you go and book your live calls, and I will see you in those live, and get your questions ready. Very looking forward to them. Next week we're going to be transcribing a bit of the solo by Stockel Rosenberg on this song. It's a beautiful solo, very challenging of course, but as I told you, that's the point. I have to challenge you. And let me think if there's any other announcements there. That should be it. So lots of love to everybody. I'll see you in the live class, or I'll see you all next week. All the best. Thank you for watching.